Folks.
Hi, everybody. I am Lizzie Hedgehog, and with me today is that guy right there.
I am that guy right there. Yes, it is true. I, your host Dash V, am here, and we are live.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Maximo.
And I'm the Red Beard Gamer. And tonight we have a special guest, Church from the Green Grinder. Church,
hello.
Tell us a little about your channel.
Yeah, so of course I'm Church. My channel is the Game Grinder. Kind of the tagline I've been using lately is the one-stop shop for amateur internet videos about video games. Low production, but it's mostly a hobby thing. Do get like game reviews, pickup videos, unboxings, and a few other sprinklings, things here and there. And I also have a podcast, the Game Tenants podcast. And that's about it.
Excellent. Folks, we'll have links to all of his gaming goodness down in the doodly-doo after the show, so you can be sure to check him out. We have, and it's really, really great. So we're very, very grateful to have you on the show today, Church, and we hope that you have fun with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
So before we get to the news topic, though, I need to kind of address an elephant in the room. Jeremy, we did not have a show last Tuesday.
Yeah.
You
know, stuff happens.
Dude, like, I like you. You're my friend, but like, we got to have a show. We can't not have a show, man. Like, you kind of let me down. You let the viewers down. I mean, what's the deal, man?
Oh, man, okay, this off the show. I mean, you're destroying my reputation here, and not to mention my ego.
I'm destroying your reputation, your ego.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just big on YouTube. I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm the Red Beard Gamer from Retro Reload, and I make a lot of money on this show.
Well, that's okay, but like, we have to have a show for you to make a lot of money on it. I'm just trying to say. And what are you doing with your phone? Is that your phone?
I'm texting someone, my friend.
You're texting on the dude. We're like live, and you're texting somebody. What the heck?
Yeah, you're just like destroying my reputation right now.
I can't.
And you know, I got a reputation to hold. Your criticism doesn't help me.
Hang on. Wait a second. I'm getting a call. Hang on. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, this is Dashby. Yeah, I'm gonna. Actually, yeah, I know Jeremy. I'm doing a show with him right now. You're his legal representation. Dude, you texted your lawyer about me criticizing you on the show?
Yeah, I mean, you can't criticize me. That's my reputation. I have an ego to uphold here.
Oh, you're worse than that game company I can't remember because they recently changed their name.
You mean the one that's serving 100 gamers for criticizing their game?
Yes, I mean that one.
Oh, okay.
My goodness. Folks, this is true. It's in the news. We're not going to get into too many details about it because we don't want to be, part of the lawsuit against people that are talking out against them, but there may or may not be a link down in the doodly-doo later on, depending on how saucy we feel. So, but this is a real thing. There's a video game company out there that apparently could not take feedback and criticism that it received about its games, so it has sued over 100 gamers, right?
Yeah, from Steam. They're suing, and a couple of reviewers too, I believe they're also.
Yeah.
For slander, libel, and assault.
All right. So
Wow,
officially, though, I can tell you, right, Jeremy, it's all good, right? Hug.
Hug.
Aww.
All right.
Just send
it's
that $10
all
check
good,
later.
folks. We were just playing around, trying to be entertaining. Jeremy is not suing me, at least not that I'm aware of.
That letter will come in later this week, don't worry.
But I'll find out after the show. Jeremy will leave me a cease and desist probably down in the doodly-doo.
So let's discuss this real quick. Church, what do you think about this whole, you hurt my feelings, so I'm going to sue you because you criticized my video game?
Yeah, it's just a bully tactic. Squelching negative comments about something, whether how much effort they put into it or not, is too much of a common trend, especially on YouTube currently. The whole copyright thing is abused pretty harshly, and I am in full support of the guy who initially took all the flack. Jim Sterling was the reviewer, and it's kind of been going on actually for about 2 years, a lot of back and forth, and recently it's had that blow up as we've seen on the news. And I was actually talking to my dad, and he saw something about it on national news, which It's
That's
pretty wild.
surprising.
Yeah, because he called me up and he's like, "Oh, hey, did you hear about this game company?" I was like, "Yeah, unfortunately."
You're
So,
gonna say, like, yeah, I'm actually the CEO.
nah, I wouldn't bully people.
So I do want to take a brief moment to give a shout out to some of the folks that are following us in the chat. Folks, if you're watching us on YouTube right now as we stream, we do have a live chat now because Google Hangouts has been merged with YouTube Live. So I want to give a shout out to Bad at Chaos. Sometimes we lovingly refer to as Bad Tacos. So we're glad to have you watching. Feel free to sign in and drop a message in the chat. If you don't have a YouTube account, don't want to sign up for the chat, have no idea what I'm talking about, but you still are watching the show. If you have a Twitter account, you can also contact us via Twitter using hashtag RRPFTW, which you can see down there in my lower third. So what did I do?
It just sounds funny.
yes. Check out the hashtag in my lower third and hit us up on Twitter with it.
So, what do you think, Tyler? I'm suing you because my feels.
What's that?
So, what do you think about the situation? They're hurt, so they need lawsuit money.
I think it's stupid. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to add. They're just, to me, it's just stupid. I mean, that's it.
Maximo, thoughts, feelings? Do you support them?
I've gotten a few of their games in the past and stuff like that, and it seems to be always a thing, like in the last year or so, that if you gave bad reviews to them, they would like publicly go after you and just like, well, your review's stupid and stuff like that. But it's very interesting to see now how this is like actually made national news with this whole I'm going to sue everybody.
So you're saying Donald Trump's running the company?
Oh, wait. We just got a Twitter from hashtag the real Donald Trump who says, I don't own that company, but if I did own that company, I would have them write the reviews, and we're going to make gaming great again. All right. I have no... Okay. That's... all right. I don't know where to go with that one. Thank you, the real Donald Trump, for that Twitter message that may or may not have just been completely made up.
All right. What about you, Lizzie? My feels are hurt, so I'm going to sue you.
Well, bullshit. I don't care. Man, I mean, seriously, look what happens right now with Sega or Nintendo. I mean, they don't care if people hate their games or not, because people like me are still going to buy it. So, oh well, deal with it. Get over it.
I think maybe the difference might be is I get the impression that this company is not making the volumes of money that Sega and Nintendo is making on their games. And rather than focusing on the critiques and the criticisms that they're receiving and channeling that into better games, I think that they feel like they're lashing out and that they're being unfairly targeted, and that, you know, their games aren't selling because of the negative connotations that people have based on the reviews. I think
true, but that's also like a double-edged sword, because like sometimes people are really mean and just purposely want to be nasty. Like for example, Sega right now, they've announced 2 games, Sonic Mania and Project 2017. You still have all those haters who are mad because it's not Sonic Adventure 3. Like, fucking get over it already. It's not gonna happen.
And there's the F-bomb.
So
it's been a
you
while.
know, it's kind of like that. But Sega's like, well, I'm sorry, it's not Adventure 3.
Yeah.
But guess what? These games, people want it still. So with this gaming company, you know, I know it sucks that people are saying bad things, but look at your game and say, okay, well, what are we doing wrong that everyone hates it?
Yeah,
but
and
don't sue.
I totally see your point, and I think that you're correct that you have to be able to take it. Just because you're putting yourself out there, not everyone's gonna like what you're doing or how you're doing it. I think that the big difference though is that, like, for the million, you know, or I would even say for maybe the tens of thousands of people that maybe are complaining that Sonic Mania is not the Sonic that they wanted, they're still going to sell over 1 million copies of that game at launch.
Yeah, I've already got 2 pre-ordered.
Right. This other company, I think, is maybe lucky if they sell 10 games.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is they've actually had quite a few sales in like the think the 2 years that they've been releasing games on Steam, they've released like something like 20 games, 20, somewhere right around that number. And there's actually, won't go too into it, but there's sort of like almost like a conspiracy thing behind some of this. Not like, tinfoil hat stuff, but with a lot of these, especially these kind of just like whipped together, like asset flipped games where they're just like getting Unity assets and building these games. Not only are they doing the initial price, but, and this is new information to me, a friend actually shared this with me the other day, is that a lot of these companies, when they release their games, they also get cards. And I don't know if you're familiar with the card system with Steam.
No.
So every game you play a game, you get cards, and if you get X amount of cards, I believe it's I think it varies, 8 or 10 cards, you get a badge which ranks up your Steam profile. And this is actually a kind of a big thing on Steam. A lot of trading of these cards. There's a lot of profits involved, even though these cards sell for like 5 or 7 cents. They have like foil cards which will sell for sometimes dollars. And kind of the conspiracy theory going on behind this is that they shovel out these games, they get these cards, and all the people that are really into these cards are trading and selling and buying. And not only does Valve get a cut of that, but the developer gets a cut of that as well. And there's some person was just kind of throwing out some figures, guesstimating, trying to go with a low number, but was saying something like possibly like $7,000 per game a month just from cards.
Oh, wow.
From their sale numbers. So I think that's a lot where they're really going after people, because so much negativity can get games pulled from Steam, and I think that's what they're really afraid of. And at this point, Valve has actually pulled all of their games off of Steam because of hostile customer relations.
Just a bit hostile.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting. I do want to caution you, though, Church. Coming on our show and providing facts and figures, like I'm going to call my lawyer right now because I'm offended.
Facts aren't allowed on this show.
Slander. It's slander.
I threw out a rash overgeneralization, and then you just totally schooled me with facts and data. Like I can't. I'm insulted.
Well, just another little aspect of it. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I had forgotten that I had kind of been following some of this. For a while, I'd watched the original videos that reviewed the game and kind of the back and forth between the reviewer, and they were reviewing his review and whatnot. And really what they really were focusing on was that the reviewer said that their game was absolute trash, I think, or absolute garbage, something like that. But because he used the word absolute, that he was making a claim that was slanderous instead of giving his opinion by saying, I think this game is trash. And that's like
gotcha.
the whole basis of this.
He was saying that it is physically entirely garbage.
Yeah.
You got a banana peel right here. You've got like half-eaten pork rinds.
I mean, here's the thing, that if you can't take criticism, the video game industry shouldn't be for you at all. Because gamers are a-holes, let's be honest.
Yeah,
I think another company, Lizzie mentioned Sega, but another company that gets a ton of hate no matter what they do. There is EA games, certainly, right? Like people complain about Madden and about like the golf game. Like every sports game they kick out, people do nothing but complain. But you know why they keep cranking out sports games every year?
People buy them.
Because they are selling like nobody's business, right?
Totally.
Like they wouldn't be cranking them out year after year after year if people weren't lining up to buy them, weren't selling out the pre-orders.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because I'm never gonna buy a sports game. I'm always gonna support Sonic, no matter what.
I was
Always
going to
support
say,
Sonic.
if Sonic Baseball came out, I'm pretty sure you'd buy it.
Yeah, I would. But that's what the Olympic games are for. But there's Mario games I enjoy. the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker, finally got released in that special, that collector's whatever popper. So I'm gonna get that, of course, and I'm sure there's gonna be games on the NX, probably a future Kirby game. It's all about your interest. So people can't get bent out of shape because people go, oh, this game's not for me. I go, yeah. Say, okay, it's not for you. So let's find the fans who will support it. Or is the game really bad? Because like for example. There was a Sonic app game called Sonic Runners. That game was cool at first, but it just was a bomb. It really was. And a lot of people, they can say, hey, this game makes no sense. I mean, no matter what you do, you don't achieve anything. Nothing good came out of it. Eventually, the game crashed, and now it's gone. And, the fans were honest. Some of them were kind of two-faced and like, oh, I love the game. Oh, that game's dead to me and crap like that. But I mean, the whole point is fans eventually spoke up and said, hey, look, Sega, that game wasn't any good. It's constantly crashing. It's got bugs, and Sega pulled it. Said, okay, we're done with that game. It's gone.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely interesting to keep in mind that I don't want to say every game, but many games, are polarizing in their reception by the public. So I think there are many games which people hate that other people would love. I don't think that they're all as universally acclaimed as this game right here, Barney's Hide and Seek, the game for the Sega Genesis. But you have to set the standard. You have to set the bar, somewhere. But sports games, there's gonna be tons of people that love the sports games. Will spend tons of time. We just had 2 guests back to back on the show. One of them that was super into Tecmo Super Bowl, and then the other one that was into, Tecmo Bowl, and then the other one that was into NHL hockey. So certainly people should be entitled to do what they enjoy and to have fun with what they enjoy. I think that you should also be entitled to speak your mind and say how you feel about something. And when you create a work and you put it out into the public, I think you have to be willing to accept that people are going to get it, play it, and then want to share their experience with other people, especially with social media being what it is now. And not all that stuff is going to be stuff that you want or enjoy hearing. So you just got to be ready to absorb it. I think it was Jeremy that said that, right?
Yes. Also, we got a Twitter feed, and it's from our buddy Clifton. So Clifton says, great show, guys. Well, Cliff, we missed you, buddy. Come back on the show sometime. Visit us.
Yes, we do. Keep on gaming.
This Game Grinder, I believe you guys are friends, right? You and Cliff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. Definitely have to get him back on here.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. So Bad at Chaos asks about Super Mario Run. So what is everybody's thoughts on Super Mario Run?
What the hell, man? That's what I just said. Sonic Runners. What the fuck? Think of a different name, Nintendo.
2 F-bombs today's show. That's what
So we know how Lizzie feels about it.
Besides, I saw the review on the news. They said it's gonna be where you can play the game, but if you want other stuff, you're gonna have to buy it. So if you want Super Mario, whatever, all this stuff, you have to buy it. So it's not, and I'm going to praise Sonic Dash on this. You can play the game and you can do little contests and collect things, and you can win Shadow and other characters. You can do that. I won Classic Sonic a while back because they were celebrating the 25th anniversary. But with that Super Mario Run, you had to buy everything. So it's like okay, that's a rip-off name off of Sonic Runners. Even though Sega pulled the game, you still stole the name, basically, Nintendo. And I mean, you had to buy everything, so it's not really cool. It's like, no, I would support it if you could just play the game and do some kind of cool contesting, kind of like what Hard Light Studios does with their Sonic games, and win the characters or win the power-ups. Yeah. That's cool. But to have to pay for it, like in Pokemon Go, no. So you're not getting more my money.
What are your thoughts on it, Church? About Mario in general and Nintendo's foray into mobile games?
Yeah, so they've been testing the waters. They had the Miitomo. They had sort of Pokemon Go, but
does not play it anymore?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Did anyone ever play?
Right.
I played Miitomo.
I got banned.
Yeah, no, you cheated.
I think I remember you guys talking about playing a little Miitomo.
I tried,
But you know, I think it's interesting that of all the games that they're deciding to release onto the mobile market, they're going with a genre that's, you know, temple run games, or I forget what they call them, continuous runners.
Yeah, endless runners.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. You know, so I don't know. It's definitely, like, I'm not a mobile gamer myself, so it's not something I'm going to check out. But I guess I wish them success, and maybe if, you know, things go well, they can actually branch off and maybe develop like some original things for mobile market, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they'll have a Flappy Mario will be the next game.
I still got the game.
Maximo, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that interested in mobile stuff either, but it's
Yeah,
like it's going to make them a lot of money just because it's a Nintendo IP. I mean, look at Pokemon Go and how even though they weren't exactly associated with it, they still made some percentage of the profits or whatever. And I guess it got them a lot of positive press as well. So
yeah,
I guess it's like a win-win for them.
So Jeremy, do you think this is gonna be the kind of game that you're going to cheat on your computer in, or are you gonna pass it up?
I'll probably pass it up. I'm not that much into PC.
You don't want to get banned from Super Mario Run?
You know what? Nintendo hates you now.
Tyler, what's up with you, my friend?
I will probably end up checking it out just because I have a kind of a soft spot for all things Mario, as you know. But you know, I'm not big into mobile gaming. I mean, I have one game on my phone right now that takes up pretty much my entire phone. So I don't know that I'll be able to check it out right away. But eventually, if I get a new phone, I'll probably give it a shot. You know, but I can't see myself spending any money on it.
Yeah, I think the jury's out for me. I think I'm with Tyler. Like, I think I will download it and give it a shot. I might even enjoy it, but I don't think, for me, I guess, in Super Mario Maker, kind of had this, like, there's times that I want to play Super Mario Maker, but it's for me, Super Mario Maker is more of like a when I want to doodle, I'll grab Super Mario Maker, I'll throw some stuff together, maybe try a community level or two, and then I'm done. Like the first month or so, I was like, oh man, this is great, this is excellent, I always want to do this, etc. And then you figure, you know, you learn pretty quickly. There's only so many ways that you can align a thwomp trap. You know, everybody's doing troll levels or auto run levels and that kind of thing. So I kind of got tired of it pretty quickly, and I mean, Super Mario Maker allows you to make some pretty dynamic, pretty out of the box levels. I guess I'm just not seeing an endless runner, you know, hold my attention past the initial curiosity phase, and oh wow, I'm playing Mario with touch controls phase.
The only endless runner games I play are Sonic, because Mario doing it doesn't make any sense.
I'm shocked, Lizzie. I'm shocked.
Go save your dang princess. Go.
Yes, no, it does make sense though that Mario would run endlessly, because every time he'd get to the castle, it'd be like, "Oh, princess ain't here."
Yeah, with Toadstool, and if people like zoom it in, he's giving you the finger, but nobody like. It's like princess isn't here.
There was a Twitter post. I retweeted it earlier this week. They had like they took the Ric Flair character, the Ric Flair sprite from WWF for the Nintendo, and they had Mario standing there and Toadstool's there and Ric Flair, and he's like, you know, the princess ain't here because she's taken off with, you know, pro wrestler and blah 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 blah. Woo! Like, and Mario's just like now that was pretty good. So, but onto the subject of Nintendo though, Mario. So thank you, Bad at Chaos, for the Super Mario Run reference, because you gave us the perfect segue into today's very Nintendo themed topic, which is it is GameCube's 15th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, GameCube birthday.
Today.
So it is the GameCube's
like
15th birthday this week. So Troy from GB Land, thank you for checking in. We appreciate you watching the show. So we gave a shout out to you earlier, if you go about 10 minutes back. It wasn't the part where we were talking about suing everybody. It's after that part. After that part. Fast forward a bit. So, I'm checking up on the Twitters. I don't see any action on the Twitters.
So
Actually,
we have
no,
an
I
official.
lie. I do see some action on the Twitters.
Oh, you did.
I do.
We have a expert on GameCube, and that's Maximo. Actually, that's his favorite system. So, you want to tell us about how you got into GameCube?
Pretty much, I would say I got it for Christmas 2001. So, essentially for me, it was like the first game system I've ever owned. And one of the games that I started out with was Rogue Squadron 2, which not only is it one of the best GameCube games of all time, but it's a launch title that somehow manages to like beat most, like 90% of other GameCube titles in terms of graphics. And to me, it's just the campaign is really good as well. Like you're reenacting all these different Star Wars like battles, stuff like that, such as like Death Star, and then you go to Hoth, etc.
The Hoth is in there, like David Hasselhoff.
Ooh.
Oh no, like Planet Hoth.
Oh, okay. My excitement level went to here, and then it dropped down below my lower third.
No.
I think a lot of people would agree with the Rogue Squadron. I've heard a lot of people say great things about it.
Is that in your backlog, Church? What kind of stuff is in your GameCube repertoire?
So I haven't played Rogue Squadron. Just haven't found it for the price that I like to pay. Usually when I'm doing the game hunting, but I was very late to the GameCube. I think I got mine 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a little while now, but I haven't really played much. But when I got it, first thing I did is I ran out the door, picked up Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, Resident Evil, the remake, the GameCube remake, and Resident Evil 0. And those are all just fantastic games. And then, of course, I love Mario Party, great party game. I like having friends over and being able to play the little mini games and whatnot. And that's about it. Oh, Eternal Darkness. You got to play Eternal Darkness too on the GameCube. The horror go-to.
Nice. I have not played Eternal Darkness. So give me a brief rundown.
It kind of takes some themes from Lovecraft. Some of the more atmospheric elements, more focus on like insanity and kind of like brooding darkness, less not like jump scary sort of thing. I never actually finished it, which I know some people were probably gonna give me a talking to about that, but I will get back to it eventually.
So you mentioned darkness and brooding. So are you talking like, so it's basically like a playable version of Vampire Diaries?
Exactly. No, it has the really cool element is it uses insanity, like as your character gets into more perilous situations, gets attacked and whatnot, they have an insanity meter that increases, which will eventually do like screen distortions and audio stuff, and it's some pretty interesting ideas that they threw into it. And as far as I know, it's a pretty highly regarded game as well.
That's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool.
Okay, Troy has a question. If you remember, he was on here 2 weeks ago, and he asked if any of you guys own the ridiculously expensive component cables for the GameCube. I just looked at the prices, and my God, he was joking.
Yeah, I know somebody that does. One of my friends does. He got really, really lucky. There was like, what, $150 cables?
I saw
$200?
someone for $300. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I see them on there online for $250 now.
Yikes.
Is there a reason they're that expensive?
So they require actual hardware. It's not as simple as doing a rewire. There's actually, I think, a little digital chip inside. Was that correct, Tyler?
Yes, as far as I understand. I've never actually seen one.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, there is a little chip inside the connector.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's not trivial to reproduce, and so it's if you have one, if you were lucky enough to get one back when they made them, even when they made them like first class, they were not easy to find. Like you wouldn't go in and find one in a GameStop or something like that. Like you had to pretty much special order it. Like the extra battery. So guys, here's your shout out for the week. If you have a Wii U and you plan to keep it for a period of time, do yourself a favor, especially if you do a lot of Mario Maker. Get yourself the upgraded battery. They have a battery that you can special order from Nintendo that has about 40% more capacity than the stock battery that's shipped with. I have a feeling these batteries are going to be impossible to find once the Wii U's production has officially halted, and you know you're going to regret not picking it up if you don't pick it up now. I think if you get them right now, they're like $50, something like that, and they almost double the lifetime of the gamepad.
Ooh,
I'm gonna buy a couple now.
good to know.
So you heard it here. In 10 years from now, that is going to be the.
I never thought about that. That is the sales.
What's that?
Off. I never thought about that though. The sales dying off in the Wii U pad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have those cables myself. I was not lucky enough to get those, but I can say I do have S-Video output from the GameCube, and that is amazing. So I'm a fan. I think GameCube is still best played, especially if you're playing the Game Boy Advance player. I think the Game Boy Advance player games look amazing on a CRT with scan lines, with real scan lines.
Totally.
Troy said that at the time that component was a big United States, and that's why there was a big market for the components.
Yes.
Yeah, the general
Troy.
market didn't seem to really adapt like any sort of like higher fidelity cabling for, I mean, really until like HDMI became commonplace.
Huh, that's good information too. So, Tyler, do you got any GameCubes? Do you play a lot at all?
I got my first GameCube, I should say, about 2 years ago, and I own like 2 games. So, no. But, I don't have much experience with it.
Did you have any of the Zelda games or anything like that for GameCube?
No, I didn't. I have the Wind Waker on the Wii U now.
Okay.
And I have Twilight Princess on the Wii and the Wii U. So no,
So
I never really got into it.
So I have to confess, right? Like the Wind Waker, I wasn't originally interested in that game when I first saw it. Like the cel shaded graphics and everything, I wasn't fully sold on it. It looked too kiddie and cartoonish for me at the time. And so, but I did pre-order it at Walmart because if you pre-ordered it, I think you had to give like $5 down or something like that. And at the time you put your $5 down, they gave you the Legend of Zelda. It was a collector's one, I think, that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yes. Yeah.
Or it was either that or Ocarina of Time and Master Quest. Like I don't remember, but I have that, and so I put my $5 down. I got that, but that was all that I really wanted because I never had an N64, so I never went and picked up my pre-order.
Yeah. I think doesn't it have 4 games on it? It has like the original 2 plus something else, I think.
I'm looking around to see if I have it up here.
Yes, that one.
I
Is that
actually
what
do. Hang on a second. I can tell you.
Church has got it already.
No, there's two different ones.
Oh.
Yes. There's the collection with the 4, and then there's the one with the Master Quest.
This was the one that came with if you pre-ordered the. So it had Master Quest and Ocarina of Time. Only had 2 games on there. The one that you're thinking of is the one that he just lifted up that has the 4. What game did this one come with?
That one has original Zelda, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask.
Right, but what was the promo for this one? I don't remember.
I'm not sure, actually.
This one does have a playable demo of the Wind Waker, but I know that this is not the. You know what it might have been? It might have been based on where you ordered it. It might have been that Walmart gave you this one and that another store gave you this one. I don't honestly remember. This does say that it has a playable demo. Does anybody that's watching the show know which games these came with? I want to say for certain This one came with Wind Waker, but then this one has a demo of Wind Waker. So now I'm sad because my memory of history does not match up with the evidence that's put before me.
Oh man.
This is what happens when you become an old retro gamer. Like you don't even like.
You don't remember.
These were, I think, pre-order bonuses for Pong.
Ooh, Pong.
I don't know.
I saw that picture of you and your son at work the other day with Pong.
Yes, we had a picture, folks. I'll post it on the Twitters later. My son and I at work. I have a colleague that loves arcade games, and so there are arcade games all over the place at work. And you can plug them in and play them. They're all on free play and that kind of stuff. But he has an actual original Pong arcade machine signed by Al Acorn and by Nolan Bushnell.
Wow,
that's really cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And the Pong game still works. So my son and I were playing it, and note in the picture that I'm the one winning.
Our back house said it bundled with a special edition Platinum GameCube console.
Which one?
I don't know. That's all he said. I assumed the one that church had.
This one I think is what he's referring to. Got bundled with the Platinum edition.
Platinum edition game.
This one I think is the one that came with
For pre-order.
if you pre-ordered the Wind Waker.
Okay.
And I do have the Wind Waker, which was a bestseller independently. I have the Player's Choice version. So obviously you can see as I said, I never went back and picked up the my pre-order. Instead, I did find at one point this game did go on clearance for $20, so I picked it up.
Yes, he confirmed it. That's the one.
So
That church had.
all right. So hey, occasionally sometimes my memory actually works correctly.
Sometimes.
So excellent. So I've already gone through, I guess, and shown you some of the games that that Church mentioned. I have Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1. When I heard at the time, the chatter in Game Informer and other places was that Capcom and Nintendo had worked out a deal where the original plan was that every Resident Evil game in the series was going to get Resident Evil 0/Resident Evil remake. And I think what ended up happening was a combination of things. Number one, Capcom radically underestimated the time and resources that would be required to do, the graphic overhauls of these games. And number two was that the GameCube did not make the market impact that Capcom or Nintendo were expecting. So Capcom knew it was going to take a ton of time to retool all these old games and to bring them back in the same glory as like a Resident Evil 0 or a Resident Evil 1. And there just wasn't going to be enough sales behind it to justify it. They did end up releasing all the Resident Evil games on the GameCube, but only 0 and 1 had the super graphical facelift. Everything else was pretty much just straight up ports from their other consoles.
Yeah, and the Resident Evil remake, fantastic. Really, really good. I knew at first I was very skeptical about it being the Resident Evil connoisseur I was in the late 90s, but they did a great job.
Absolutely fantastic. The game looked great in S-Video with progressive scan. I'm sure in on Component it probably looked amazing as well. So it's one of the few games for the GameCube that actually does support progressive scan. So and fun fact, if you have the original Wii, the one that has the flip top up at the above where you can plug in the game. I don't have one up here, but the one that has the GameCube controller ports in the top and memory ports, you can actually, if you hook that in through your component cables, all the games that supported progressive scan and enhanced resolutions will play in that way on the Wii.
Good to know.
So it's a much cheaper way to actually play those games the way that they were intended to look than to get a GameCube and to get the cables.
Well, my original Wii is like in the box under my bed because the Wii U.
That's not a way to treat a system.
It's back in its original box. Special save. Here. It's buried.
So, has anyone here played Super Mario Sunshine? I skipped that one.
Actually, when I used to watch kids at my old church, I used to watch the kids, during Sunday school. Those kids would hog that game, but I'll get in there once in a while. Like, you're good. I was like, I've been playing video games before you were born.
Yeah, that is one of the games I actually do have, and I play it on the Wii. but I do have it.
So you played Super Mario Sunshine on the Wii?
Yes.
So what'd you think of it? I haven't played it at all. I have it, but I finally found it at a thrift store for $5, so I finally own it, but I haven't played it yet.
Play
It's
it. You'll like it.
been a while since I've played it. I don't remember exactly what's going on, but I knew the jetpack, the water pack thing. Jetpack. I don't know what they call it. Yeah. It was kind of a different mechanic. You know, I don't think it worked as well as they had hoped. You know, I didn't have a problem with it, but it's kind of a different. I mean, just a different take on Mario. I mean, I think it fits. Obviously, it fits perfectly between Mario 64 and then the Mario Galaxy. I mean, I think there's elements you can see like the clear path they took. Yeah. So I think it's it's fine. I did like it. It wasn't the greatest game ever, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, what's interesting? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was saying, I play it, and I know it's not great, but hey, I got nothing to complain about. I'll play it again if I want to.
So what's interesting, and I hadn't thought about this before you mentioned it, Tyler, the Jetpack. I was reading the other day that the Japanese version of the Super Mario All-Stars collection that came out on the Wii actually came with a booklet that had some developer notes and everything like that about some of the first early builds of Super Mario Brothers for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. And in their notes, it was mentioned that they'd originally envisioned Mario having a jetpack, and that when you did a jump in the air, if you were to press the B button, he was supposed to be able to have a jetpack power-up that would allow him to have a little bit of a boost to get to places he couldn't otherwise get to. But that got scrapped early on in the development process. So now part of me wonders if Super Mario Sunshine was somebody going, I finally get to give him a jetpack.
It's like this last year with the Nintendo. We got to put that jetpack on them.
Yeah, it's like, look, before I retire, you just got to let me put a jetpack on that plumber.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So, yeah. So
Cool.
maybe it's totally unrelated, but, it's kind of neat to see. I remember reading in Nintendo Power, I believe it was, when they were talking about Super Mario World, and they were talking about the introduction of Yoshi. And I remember them talking about how, even as far back as the original Nintendo, the first couple of iterations, they had wanted to have this dynamic where he was riding a dinosaur or something like that, but there were hardware limitations that prevented them from doing that, effectively. And preserving the mechanics and speed and playability of the game, so they weren't able to actually realize it until Super Nintendo. So it just made me wonder if the same thing was true with the jetpack. So it's kind of neat to see that some of those ideas get delayed and lost for a little bit, but it looks like not forgotten. So who knows how many new features we're going to see in upcoming Mario games and stuff that were actually thought of way back in the 8-bit era.
Yeah, the only thing I remember not really liking about it was it kind of had that the same thing like with Mario 64, where you had to play the same levels over and over again and do different things with different achievements.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I just want to play a level and be done and move on.
Oh, hang on a second. Hello? Yeah, this is Nintendo's legal counsel.
What the heck?
So, Tyler, I'm going to need you after the show to send me your personal contact info because Nintendo doesn't like you talking smack about them.
Okay.
All right. I'll take care of it. No, I'll take care of it. All right. Yeah, okay. Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Do we have enough YouTube money to cover his legal costs?
Dang.
All of today's ad revenue will go to cover the T. Pugmire Freedom Fund.
Oh, great. All of the half a cent we have in there.
Yes, the half a cent, man. Easy come, easy go.
You could always contact Sega, borrow some money from them. I mean, I think they get enough money from me.
There we go.
But also, like Tyler, I recently, in the last couple of years, got the GameCube. But my reasoning was I was a big 64 fan. And at the time, I know it sounds weird now, but it's all about playing CDs on your PS2 or your Xbox. So I was like, I can get the GameCube, which I can't play CDs, or I can get the PS2, where I can play CDs. So that's logic back in those days.
What was really interesting, though, and this was one of those moments where it was like, I knew that I chose wisely. My wife and I were having the same discussion. It was like, man, if we get PlayStation 2, we can have all these great games like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, etc. if we get the GameCube, though, I can have Resident Evil and blah, blah, blah. And my wife really wanted Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, and not that I didn't want those games, but I didn't want them as badly as like a new, awesome, shiny Resident Evil. And my wife had no interest in Resident Evil. So Christmas comes along, and my wife tears open her gift, and it's a PlayStation 2, and it's Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X, right?
Oh.
I tear open my gift, it's a GameCube and Resident Evil 0.
Aw.
So, best Christmas. It was our second year of marriage, and it was like best Christmas ever.
Oh, that's so
interesting
romantic.
to
So,
think
yeah,
about
so-
playing the CDs, because that's what it boiled down to me too back in the day. Was the PlayStation 2 is a DVD player, and at the time it was a pretty cheap DVD player as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big deal too. DVDs were a big deal back in those days.
Yeah, we used ours as a DVD player as well, yeah.
I still do.
I never had these.
So the bottom line is, folks, why have one current gen console when you can have two for twice the price?
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
I actually have a PS2. My best friend got it for me, but like it doesn't work. But it's got a bunch of weird stuff on it. But it's under the bed too, in the box.
My goodness, like all the retro games go under your bed.
Yeah, dude, my
Well,
setup for
they're
all
in the
systems are
green
playable right away.
But they're in the box. They're safe. They're surrounded by bubble tape and all that stuff.
I thought you were going to say they're surrounded by Sonic plushies.
No, they're over there. All of them.
Rep and stock plushies.
All of
So
them.
who had one of these?
I still need to buy some.
I've seen those in stores.
Wavebird Wireless.
I want
Never.
one.
These are amazing, and they're also ridiculously expensive out there on the internets now.
You said if you plug a Wii, be careful because they can overpower it, right?
Yes, I do want to give that warning. Folks, if you're going to plug this in to your Wii, you probably do not want to leave it plugged in for extended periods of time, especially if the Wii is plugged in and you're not using this. There have been incidents recorded, I'm actually one of them, where the amount of power draw that this does, oddly enough, while idle, the amount of power draw that this does while idle is enough to actually damage the motherboard of the early launch models of the Wii.
Did it blow up?
So it won't physically explode or anything like that, but it will stop. It will stop working.
Okay, so it won't have the fate of the Samsung phone? Okay.
So it won't. The worst part is it won't damage the controller. It'll damage the console.
That's even worse.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I had a console that became completely unplayable because of stuff that had burned up on the motherboard.
Well, yeah, but you figure now, I mean, a used Wii is what is like less than a Wavebird anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. So that is one thing to be careful of. But for the GameCube, there's definitely no better option. This has been really great. We've used it for some episodes of Positively Awful. In fact, another object that we didn't talk about for the GameCube, you can kind of see toward the bottom here, the Game Boy Advance player.
Which is
I love
expensive
that.
as hell, and you can't find the CDs.
It's expensive as hell.
Remember it took me $6 to find one?
Yes,
Well,
it is
it's-
useless without this disc.
Yep.
I
Gosh
think
darn it.
you can get it. Well, last I was looking, it's somewhere around like $50 or $60, I think, for both. If
Because the system itself is cheap. It's like $10 online. That's because most of them don't come with the CD. Like I said, it took me 6 months to find one. Decent.
Lizzie will like this. The last game that I had in here was Sonic Advance.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I don't have that. I got the Retron 5.
there is one interesting thing about that disc, because the question has come up before: why does somebody just burn a disc, make new discs? But the problem is, apparently, it's burned backwards. I read that somewhere that there's something special about those discs that you can't reproduce them, which is a shame because
Yeah, it's like
I love one.
It's hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember how. I'm gonna, folks. I'm gonna. I wish I had the cable to my. I wish I had the cable to this right now because I would actually prove or disprove that theory. Can I find it?
Okay, well,
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna see if I can find the cable, and we'll see if right here on the show we can debunk whether or not we're gonna do a little bit of Mythbusters action here. and see if the disc does in fact spin backwards.
No, it doesn't spin backwards. It's burned backwards. The actual burning
burn
process.
backwards.
Yeah, so there's no way to like reproduce it.
Ooh.
I don't see why burning it backwards would make it impossible to reproduce it.
Well, I don't know. That's what I heard.
Technical guy, I would imagine like the order in which I read or write the bytes shouldn't really matter, but there probably is some encryption on there, right? There's some probably software copy protection.
I think
I'm likely full of crap, but I don't know.
Maximo, is he full of crap?
No, the thing is that like for those Nintendo optical discs, this also relates to why the GameCube can't play DVDs or CDs. But apparently at the time, like they didn't want to pay royalties or whatever to the CD or DVD foundations. So as a result, they create their own special format, which is Nintendo optical disc, which is essentially a mini DVD with extra security built into it. And that's essentially all GameCube discs are.
Not really screwed because I can't get a
That makes sense. I seem to remember that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that might be why.
Hashtag the real Donald Trump says that he would make Nintendo make their own discs. They do make their own discs. What are you talking about? Go back to your election campaign, real Donald Trump. Come on, we're trying to.
I have a deal for our fans. If any fan out there sends Tyler a Sega CD with the actual CD or Game Boy Player with the actual CD, I'll shave off my entire beard if you do that for him.
Wait, what?
Wait, yeah, what?
What are we doing?
If someone buys Tyler or sends him a Game Boy Player with this boot disc, send it to Tyler for him to keep. I'll shave off my entire beard.
Dang, never.
Okay.
I don't know, man. There's a bunch of games.
You say you want one, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I said. If a fan sends you one for a keep and it works, I'll shave this off.
All right.
And we don't have to love my big bushy beard.
I'm down, I guess. I have nothing to lose.
You can hide in your beard.
Although I'm glad that you mentioned your beard, Jeremy, because we're coming up close on time to end the show. I think we got about 5 minutes left, but you know, we did have a discussion before the show. Jeremy didn't know if he was going to be able to make it.
Yeah, I was getting hammered earlier.
And so as a backup topic that we had, we were going to play a little game where we were going to guess how many Pokemons we think could hide in Jeremy's beard. So, Church, what's your guess?
No, are we talking about like figures or just theoretical Pokemon, or was this actually tested out?
Theoretical Pokemons. I don't think that there's any right or wrong answers here. I think they're just all various degrees of hilarious.
Oh, sure. Oh, well, it's a pretty epic beard, so I'd go with like 16. 16? All right.
Game Grinder says 16. What do you think, Lizzie?
I think about like 20. As long as it's not Pikachu, because you don't want that friction going on.
20 except Pikachu. Tyler, what about you? How many do you think could fit in his beard?
Is this like The Price is Right? We have to guess under a certain amount or we lose? Like...
No, there's no prizes. We're all losers here.
Oh, damn. 6.
6. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good answer.
Okay. What about you, Maximo? What do you think?
3 Pidgeys and 3 Sparrows.
All right.
Like with Peter when he got the birds in his beard.
Specific.
Kind of guy.
Yep.
That's 6 total. So hang on. So if I add 16 and 20, right, that gives us 36. Plus another 6 is 42. Plus another 6 is 48, right? So 48 is also what 6 times 8 is, which means absolutely nothing.
Half-Life 3 confirmed?
Yes,
Yeah,
actually, no,
you're
correct. No, I don't know. So Jeremy, like, how many, have you ever woken up to find Pokemons in your beard?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Actually eating a candy the other day, like M&M's, and I dropped one. I was like, where'd it go?
Was it stuck in there?
It wasn't stuck. It was like sitting on top of it. It's like,
So what's the weirdest thing that's ever got stuck in your beard?
Well, I drool at night, so you can imagine in the morning I'm like,
What was that?
I drool in my sleep.
Oh. And I instantly regret asking the question.
So it's like, so I have to go like in the shower. It's sad. I put more shampoo in my beard than my head, on top of my
Oh my goodness. Do you ever does dinner time ever arrive and you're like, oh wow, I forgot this in there from breakfast?
No, you learn to eat with it.
Yeah. That's why it grows to a certain amount and then I get rid of it. Does it get like itchy during the summer and stuff?
It's hot as hell. I can't stand it. That's why I offer the fans. If you ever tired, I'm going to shave.
You should offer something easier, right? Offer like if they say hi to Tyler or something, you'll shave your beard.
If you hashtag if you tweet a picture this week with Tyler while he's working, I'll do it too. So you see Tyler working. You take a selfie with you while you're working this week.
Well, folks, much
I like the Game Boy disc thing better.
Both are doing, and Miss Pugmire can't participate. Miss Pugmire can't participate.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this shows no sign of getting any better. So I think we're going to go ahead and close down the show. We want to wish the GameCube a very happy birthday. It's got a really excellent lineup of games. We only mentioned a fraction of them. The Metroid Prime series got its start on the GameCube, was also fantastic. There was a baseball game, Mario Sluggers, which was pretty good. Mario Kart was really good. There was a lot of good games. Sonic Mega Collection was
I'm so biased. Like, don't forget about that.
Also, the Mega Man X collection.
Oh yes. Oh, I love Mega Man.
Yes, I did own that on the PlayStation 2 though, so I kind of jumped the gun on that one. But yeah, so definitely a good library. If you haven't played it before, give it a try. Also, what's good to know is that the Game Boy Advance player, I believe, can also play some of the earlier Game Boy games as well. Can it?
Yes.
You can play original Game Boy, I believe. Yep.
It's like kind of a version in it.
Yeah, it's one of the few ways short of a Retron 5 to actually enjoy your portable games on the big screen, and it's a great way to do it.
Yes, reviewer's dream too. I've used it a couple times for a couple of reviews I've done.
Yeah,
remember, guys, when you buy it, make sure it comes with the boot disc because it's useless without the boot disc.
Yes, the boot discs are very difficult to find out in the wild by themselves. So, folks, definitely check us out next week. We're going to have some more fun topics for you. We want to thank Maximo for being on the show today and talking to us a bit about his GameCube love. I want to thank Church for being on the show, giving us some input and some facts. So, hopefully we see him again in the future. So if you want to see him again in the future and you don't mind the fact that the rest of us won't be here, you can check him out on his channel. He is known as the Game Grinder, and we'll have a link to his channel down in the doodly-doo after the show.
Awesome.
So anybody want to give any final shout-outs or any final legal counsel before...
Happy birthday to my newest nephew, Jace, who was born a couple days ago.
Hey, congratulations.
He's a future gamer, don't worry.
Be careful what you say about those game companies, because they will come out and they will get you. Especially if it's Nintendo or if it's this other company. I mean, they will come out and hang on a second.
What the heck, man?
I'm gonna have to take this, guys. It's a lawyer. All right. Peace out, everybody.